How are you? It's the last Wednesday of the year, the very last one. We've had 51, including this one is 52, right? Oh, excuse me. Uh, we're not stressing, we're changing. Change is good. Uh, thinking about the world a lot. I just had a delicious dinner, which was kielbasa sauerkraut and mustard and bread to go with that. Pretty good. Uh, it reminded me of summer, of like Coney Island for some reason. Hey, William, Happy New Year. Belated Merry Christmas to you, but Happy New Year. Happy New Year. So, yeah, the last, the last, the last days of this year. What will tomorrow, have in store for us next year? More pandemic stuff? I don't know. Excuse me. I do not mean to be rude. Um, it's been good. So I'm supposed to do a show with Ted at 7:30. I was supposed to be here, and I wasn't because I'm sort of on semi vacation. I got to tell you, Ben, I have to come up with an actual schedule again. These intermittents are fun. There's not a lot of stress, but that's not how you run a show. You do a show every day at the same time. So we're gonna get into that. But this is the end of the year, right? This is just kind of this is when you when you know you're gonna graduate from high school and you have like 6 weeks. You know, you're just kind of coasting. So we're gonna coast up until likely uh January 3rd or so, third or fourth. What is that? And then we're gonna kick this thing off with a plan. Yeah, the third is Monday. Wow, it's like 4 days away. The third is Monday. I really need to get this Twitch thing up and running. And we're gonna have some fun. Oh man, it's gonna be a whole new experience in the new year. We've got plans, boys and girls. I did see the Maxwell verdict. Okay, how it is dark. Is it dark in here? It is dark in here. Hold on. Um, all right. So, 5 out of the 6 charges. But if I mean, it's still a long time. But if she was what they said she was, she'd have had hundreds of counts. There'd have been video evidence. There'd be some text messages. That, yeah, I just look at this as like we killed this one guy, and since we can't kill her because it'll look too suspicious, we just throw her in a dungeon, and then anybody who shows any sympathy will just go, "You're a pedophile," and so you'll be less likely to go, "Hey, that whole Maxwell thing seems a little wiggy to me." Um, so you're less likely to do that. Beside a rich debutante, nobody's gonna die on that hill, but lawyers who'll be making $7,000 an hour, billable hour, whatever the fuck it's gonna be. Um, yeah, who did not think she was gonna get out of there? But again, you've been hearing a lot of stuff about the FBI. Um, you know, getting setting up crimes to have been informants uh, come up with the idea of these people who normally wouldn't have done this thing. So then they can go, hey, we shut down a terrorist cell. And then was going to try and just found out that, you know, two guys were sitting over here going, man, I hate chocolate ice cream. vanilla ice cream's the best. And then some government moguls, we should teach those the what you want did I just say? Vanilla ice cream the best. We should teach that chocolate ice cream a lesson. We should I don't know, unplug the ice cream truck cooler or something like that. We go, yeah, that's right, but we don't know how to get into the gates, and it's an electronic gate, and we don't have a crowbar. We can't afford a crowbar to cut the chains, and none of us know how to drive a truck to get it out of there anyway. And then the FBI informant goes, oh, don't worry, I know how to hack the lock, and I can get you some crowbars, and I will give you driving lessons. So you know what I'm saying? So this guy essentially sets up this whole plan and then gives you training to do the plan that was his idea in the first place, and then have you raided and sent off to jail for 30 years as being a terrorist. I mean, the American justice system, I've said it before, why are you surprised? Like, the system has always been unfair. And it was incredibly unfair to one group of people. Now it's unfair to everybody, and people are shocked. But yeah, that whole FBI, you know, the idea that you'll cover up uh, one crime of a bad guy to keep your secrets is kind of like, I don't know. So yeah, the Maxwell verdict. Ooh wee! I gotta tell you, man, that meat was good. I'm swollen like so. I may need to recline. I don't have my recliner anymore. I traded it for an organ. Good deal. I've been watching a lot of drum videos. Now, everybody just calm down. I'm not gonna buy a freaking set of drums. I was looking at this drum pad workout kit though, but the more drum videos I watch, the more I have a giant respect for drummers. Everything looks to be moving. Like both legs are going, the hi hat and like the bass drum, right? While you're banging on the snare and you're hitting what is it, bass drum snare and your hi hat. Like those are the three central things that you're going at. After everything else is kind of cake. So then you get like two toms in there, floor tom and a high tom before you know it, you're just doing all this on everything. Just kind of whacking away at everything. I was looking at some of these guys, I was like, that is a workout. It's not only are you just trying to keep, and then I looked up the drum tablature, another new tablature. So yeah, music, man. Anyway, that's what I'm doing because I gotta tell you, you will lose your mind with the politics, but we better do something else. So yeah, do we even want to read about Ghislaine Maxwell? I wonder how much time she's gonna get. And it's Jizz Lane, which is crazy. Ghislaine. Ghislaine. That's just one of those old as fuck French Normandy name that likely goes back to the King Arthur days. Ghislaine pronunciation. There's no. Oh, here's one. Ghislaine. Let's hear it. Oh no. Let's do that. Everybody's got a. I hate to say it.
Bonjour, this is Julian, the Frenchman who makes French pronunciation videos. You
Uh,
is also used in Ghislaine. Ghislaine is how it would be said in
Ghislaine. All right. So Ghislaine meaning. Ghislaine meaning. Her name means hostage. Ghislaine, you're a hostage, all right. Ghislaine also spelled Guislaine, Slain, Ghislaine. Also spelled Ghislaine, Ghyslaine, or Ghislaine, Ghiselin, Ghislaine. feminine. Ghislaine or Ghislaine is a French personal that is also used in other countries for French speaking population. The name meaning is hostage or pledge. Who names their daughter that? Um, hey, how's it going? Probable. So yeah, now she's going to be a hostage of the American justice system. Just so what kind of time is she looking at? Ghislaine Maxwell. All right. Um, I hope my internet holds up. It's being a little quirky. Ghislaine Maxwell is going to this pokey. She is Jeffrey Epstein's ex girlfriend and I guess co conspirator. Although Jeffrey Epstein, can I well he wait no he was convicted. I was about to say he's an innocent man because he died before trial, but no, he was convicted of child molestation. So yeah, found guilty of helping Jeffrey Epstein. Um, British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty on Wednesday of facilitating the abuse of underage girls at the hands of wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein. Financier is doubtful. A federal jury deliberated for 5 full days. That was crazy. What the 5 full days before finding Maxwell guilty on 5 of 6 counts she faced, including the sex trafficking of a minor. The 60-year-old was acquitted of enticing a minor to travel with intent to engage in illegal sexual activity. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, died in 2019 while in a Manhattan correctional facility. Throughout the trial, jurors heard from 4 women, just four. I mean, if they were doing this for 30 years, you should have had like, oh my, again, I'm not dying on this hill, but this just looks like a nice rubber stamp to shut this case. Sometimes I see stuff and it looks to me like it's the 50s all over again. And like, people are just being railroaded. Um, who's going to? I mean, I'm, I'm in New Zealand, so our news is a different set of news, right? People always find out too late. Yeah. Wow, beautiful New Zealand. So Gislaine's, that name is gonna kill me every time I pronounce it. Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, and they had this long relationship where apparently they were freaky deaky, right? On the and women on the younger side. And when I say women, that's using it loosely. And when I say on the younger side, that's being fucking generous. Um, so, but my whole thing is like, if they were what you said they were, there should be a ton of evidence that you like. We said on the last show, Your Honor. I mean, we don't need to show the pictures, Your Honor. I mean, just some of this to the jury. The people don't. So and watch the jury just go, oh my gosh. People go, oh wow. There must be something that they won't release to the public that is crazy on these tapes or in these pictures or on these text messages or whatever. And we didn't really see any of that. And they only came up with 4 women. So, but yeah. Throughout the trial, jurors heard from 4 women who accused Maxwell of luring them into Epstein's lavish homes to have sex with him and other powerful men over. And don't get it wrong, I'm not saying I think Jeffrey Epstein was innocent of anything. I'm just saying like there should be what happened to that, there should be way more evidence. But yeah, let's not get it twisted. I'm not saying he or she is innocent of anything. Um, Quite the contrary. Throughout the trial, jurors heard from 4 women who accused Maxwell of luring them into Epstein's lavish home to have sex with him and other powerful men over 3 weeks. The women described how Maxwell, who dated Epstein in the 90s, presented herself as a friendly older sister, earning their trust with gifts and shopping sprees. Is that earning their trust or is that just buying you off? Earning their trust. All right. Yeah, like we say around here, the media always get paid on it, right? If someone throws a baby out of a fire and you catch it, the media write a story about how you got the hands of an angel and you were right the right. But if they do it and you don't catch it, you're still on the front page saying whoopsie daisy or you know, whatever the case may be. But they're still gonna sell the same amount. So yeah, they get paid regardless, and that's the sinister thing about the media. So you can look at that now with Britney Spears, right? They were like, "Oh, Britney Spears," and now Britney Spears is doing the same old nonsense, perpetually talking wild, and they can't wait to talk about her, right? She's in the tabloid that already. So I thought you just said she had a mental illness, and you were there for her safety. Now, so the media is the shakiest and shadiest of institutions. So there's autocorrect errors. We just had a big news drop about Omicron. Oh, really? I mean, it wasn't. Yeah. Well, nowadays the media, like, it's not only is it badly written, it's like a lot of it is just like summaries of information with like no pictures, no who. Yeah, the yeah. It's amazing considering it's 24-hour news. You think that you get good news, but the news game isn't to inform you; it's to entertain you. Um, Maxwell, who vehemently denied playing a role in any of the abuse, faces up to 65 years behind bars, including a maximum of 4 years in prison. A maximum of 4 years in prison for sex trafficking of minors, the most serious count of which she was convicted. She was also convicted of conspiracy to entice minors to travel, to engage in illegal acts, to conspire to transport a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of a minor. A sentencing date has yet to be. That is a lot of heavy shit. Um, Prosecutors said Maxwell conviction was a long time coming. The road to justice had been far too long, but today justice has been done. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams said in a statement moments after the verdict. He added, a unanimous jury has found Ghislaine Maxwell guilty of one of the worst crimes imaginable, facilitating and participating in the sexual abuse of children, crimes that she committed with her longtime partner and co-conspirator Jeffrey Epstein. Um, what about all the other people Epstein knew though? But fine, that forget I said anything. It's a case that has captured international attention, sparked countless conspiracy theories, and there's plenty of fodder. Maxwell and Epstein were a couple in the 1990s and early 2000s, surrounded themselves with wealthy and powerful men, including Bill Gates and Bill Clinton. Over the past few years, a steady stream of women have accused Maxwell and Epstein of abusing them when they were underage. Some have also said the couple forced them to perform sex acts on famous men such as Prince Andrew and former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson. Both deny these accusations. Epstein died before he could be prosecuted. Early attempts at prosecuting Epstein were riddled with accusations of the financiers playing the system. Judicial corruption and cover ups. His death in 2009. Well, wow. You left out a lot and you used up about 25 words to do it. Early attempts at prosecuting Epstein were riddled with accusations of the financiers playing the system, judicial corruption, and cover-ups. And then you jump to his death in 2019 in custody at the Manhattan Correctional Facility was ruled homicide, but have been many questions. But have been there's one been too many here. There have been too many. There have been the good lord. It says, but there have been many questions, and I was corrected in my head while I was talking it out. But there have been many questions about the circumstances. Some of his accusers say his death before facing justice left him with a feeling of emptiness. The fact I will never have a chance to face my predator in court eats away at my soul, Jennifer Alvarez, who accused Epstein of raping her when she was 15, said shortly after his death. See, here's the thing about that, though. There was money in this. When he died, they were like, They took like $300 million of his cash and gave it to these women, right? No one proved. Can I say that? Um. So yeah, and now you have to keep. It reminds me of that story about that woman who lied about. Not saying anybody lied. Get it right. The woman who lied about this American football player after they had sex, and then she sued. She put him in jail for rape, but then like she sued the university and got like $3 million. And someone caught her on tape saying how the whole thing was bad and she wished she could fix it, and he didn't rape her, and the whole thing was back, and she wished she could fix it. And the guy, like it's on tape, and the person going, "Why don't you come forward?" And her saying, "I don't want to give back the money." So when that came to light, they let him out of jail. They sued her for the money back, $3 million, confiscated all her stuff. But she didn't do any jail time. She didn't go to jail, right? I mean, the money makes it a lucrative thing to say, especially $300 million, right? And what were you? A waitress? You worked at, Red Lobster or Walmart, and you happen to have this running that you can prove, but that doesn't mean that it was rape or anything. Doesn't even mean that there was sex or anything. And this is my thing, man. I'm telling you, what did they take out of that house? And why didn't it show up in this trial? America's judicial system is just the weirdest fucking thing. It does not elicit good feelings or faith in any of it. Hey, Emmanuel, what's the word, man? The amount of errors in the news article, like it'll be talking about some topic, and then there'll be some random sentence that doesn't make sense about a different topic in the same article. Yeah, New Zealand just found out we have an Omicron case in the community without knowing he was a positive Omicron case. You only have one. It's a messy case. Wow. As we go into the new year, I just cannot wait for this whole thing to just officially be over, right? That's likely to be another year. I think. I don't think this thing is going to be gone by summer. Um, Omnicron. It is a very interesting start to the new millennia. The first 20 years have been interesting to say the least. And another 80 to go, right? So I won't get to that finish line, but man, the next 100 years. Yeah. Well, looking for positive, people are trying to search for positivity with optimism until they die. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are just miserable forever, right? Instead of humbling themselves. There's nothing wrong with humbling yourself either. Um, People haven't changed. Yeah, because people look here. Look, I see what you're saying, but it is my opinion that people. First of all, I say this all the time. We're social animals. We need other people. People have been driven to be alone in crowds, right? That's sort of unnatural for the kind of species that we are. Um, and people generally, how can I say this? People, there's some bad people in the lot, right? But if you could remove all the bad people, the average person just wants to do the average thing, right? They don't want to be a rock star. They don't want to be an actor. They just want to work. You know what I mean? Um, and that's it, right? But somewhere in there, you have to find joy in it. And I think society is always telling you that you need to have the latest this and the newest that. And that, and you also have to be this shaped and this tall and this handsome, and your penis has to be this big, and your breasts have to be that big, and you need to be wearing this cool latest that, and so and then you get all this insecurity kind of like growing up around you, and before you know it, you're an adult out there trying to be confident in the world where all you were ever raised on was this kind of like weird tension in your life, and you didn't even know why you have it. Yeah, the private can be that there are cases like mine where we never had anyone, never had friends, never had a solid relationship, always disliked by people, but sometimes believed that we had all the same upbringing. Yeah, that's BS, this and that, popularity, etc. Those assholes. Yeah, people punch you down, right? I mean, bullies don't take on worthy opponents. They attack. Like the men beat up the women and the women beat up the children, right? The big beat up the small. It's just, and then that perpetuates, you know, this isolated feeling. I mean, you learned it, you can unlearn it. You know what I mean? Um, I think it starts with acceptance and redirection. They prey on those who they consider either a threat or are weak. Yeah, but not just for those reasons, for sheer spite. It's not always some sinister plot. Sometimes they're just evil, and sometimes they're just mean. Sometimes they're just stupid and bored, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter why, right? Because then you scar people who have to walk around with it for the rest of their days, um, trying to make sense of it, right? Which can be wasted time. So you have to come to terms with it early. Not come to terms is not a good word. You have to wrestle with those demons early and either win or come to terms with them. But you can't take it with you forever, uh, because it'll cost you. We're bullying society that doesn't want change. Yeah, nothing comes cheap. Be a warrior for the light, but you got to be a smart warrior. You just can't take on every fight and make yourself crazy. Accepting and humbling is what people need. Acceptance and humbling is what people need. Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, by whose terms am I accepting, and who am I being humble to, right? Um, and then there are different levels of that, and somebody may say that you're not accepting humbling enough. Other people may say you're accepting and humbling at the wrong thing, right? So I mean, I think it really is like this inner thing. Um, how about a word for the dark? You know what I'm saying? So once, I mean, I'm all for freedom, but I get why people are unhappy because I've been there, right? And I'm obsessed with the topic of betterment, and I like people. I love to talk to people. So now you have to be humble all the time. No, no, I don't think you do need to be humble all the time. I think sometimes a little bravado, just like you can't be serious all the time. Sometimes you should laugh, right? Sometimes you should strut. I mean, these are all just common sense, natural human things to do. And I think people, and I think there's a heavy religious aspect to this, had beat humbleness into you. So people, and mind you, we're all different. But if you play the game right and you win, take your lap. However you decide to take your lap, as long as the lap you take isn't offensive to anybody, right? You don't want to exacerbate a problem when you could take a victory lap and get a round of applause versus booze, right? It's this thing. And I think some of that energy of having wins in your life, where one day you can sit back on your hammock and go, wow, man, that I caught the ball or I kicked the goal or I did whatever. Everybody should have some of those moments, right? I would love to have caught a touchdown and and scored a goal, right? 2 points. I would love that. I think about that all the time. It's never gonna happen. I was never able to swing a baseball properly, right? Throw it one, but I always liked football, right? Half is okay. What it be? Okay. The problem if you're humble all the time, people exploit you. Just because you're humble don't mean you have to be stupid. There also is cause people want to drag the religious shit into these talks. Haps is rid. Okay, well here's the thing. Not everyone has a reason to smile. A moment that we're happy, but assume that we've all had that. All right. Well, first, okay. Where can I even start? All right. Uh, people's religion. I mean, if they're if how can I say this? If people, because normally, like, I look at this as a bar situation, right? So in a bar, we're all there getting like having drinks and talking shit, and every now and then people come to the bar who didn't drink, and I was like, why people who not don't drink hanging out in bars, right? It's an anathema to what's going on here. I also feel that way with people's religious sake. I think it can be a dodge, but I also think other people are unnecessarily hostile at religious people, right? Some people, if you're, and I've had this conversation I had before, if you're trying to, I don't just talk about the problem. I like to try and solve a problem. Um, and then you can be thrown off track by religious people and religious dogma. Um, I think I'm fairly religious. I never bring it up. Uh, but I've always grown up around religious people who would quote the Bible and they'd be bad people, right? But you can see what my pod is all about. Like, it's essentially social justice embedment, right? But I think I try and be wary of some of the traps. I don't mind talking religion, but I'm going to challenge you. Defend what you believe, and and like don't use it as like a shield of, well, you're just trying to test my faith, which means you're the devil, so I'm right anyway. So I'm just going to walk away. You just kind of go, you know what? Why am I even talking to that person? So it's also who you talk to when you have these conversations. What do you want out of it? Because I'm always looking for information, and I've talked to a ton of people, religious and otherwise. But I've also talked to people who sort of had a grudge out for religious people, or gay people, or black people. You know, the more you talk to them, especially drinking, the more their guard is down, and then they'll say some telling shit at like 3 in the morning. You're like, oh, I get it. You're a bigot. You're gay, secretly gay, or whatever. You know, you're lost. You're not a bigot. You're just afraid of everybody. I thought you know. So it's all these kind of things, but you got to know who you're talking to. And this is essentially recon. And I like to talk to people. I love to talk to strangers. So yeah, don't be that. Look, and it depends on who you talk to, right? Just because we both see eye to eye, we may just naturally rub each other the wrong way or phrase it in a way that we both disagree with, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to make enemies of it. And some people just cannot have a conversation on your level, right? And I mean that in multiple fashions because I try and have conversations with some black dude and every nigga it's fuck, 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 and nigga, 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 and bitch, bitch, bitch. I'm just kind of like, I can't with this, right? So that's my cutoff. Other people can with that. I've been in other arenas where, people don't like me joking around a lot. And they didn't want me in their arena, right? So I mean, it's that. Feel feel out the room. But I'm also the kind of guy who will go there in a conversation. Um, but again, I do a lot of listening as well as doing a lot of talking. Um, and I do a lot of defending shit too, because my younger man days was spent defending my point and staking my claim, and my older guy days are just kind of like, I want to see where we fucked up, where we can get along and get to the next level, because I'm sick of being, you know, on the bottom, whether it's poor or politically insolvent or whatever the case may be. And that's how you're going to get there. But everything is about conflict between each other. So everybody, no one's building anything together, right? The schools are a shit show. You think all the parents will have made the schools better, but no. Um, is if there's a religion behind being humbled, is that the idea of being good? Um, no. I don't think being humble and being good have anything to do with each other. Humbled is humbled. Is there a religion behind the act? Um, being good. You know what? Being good, being good and being humble. All right. So after you do something, being you can be good and never do anything. Right? You get married. You go to church. Nobody knows you. You're a good person. You live 90 years and you die. That's being good, right? I think being humble uh, is when good things happen to you and you don't strut. You know what I mean? That way, you don't have to be humbled for that because humbled implies you could stand to come down, right? Um, so humbled is plus. So yeah, it's like if the cosmos made you a billionaire or an astronaut or the best juggler or bubblegum blower, and you got laurels and decorations and Guinness Book of World Records. Be humble about that shit. Oh my God, you're the best guitar player in the world. No, I think I do all right, but thank you. That's nice of you to say. Everyone, that's humble versus who the fucking beat me. I am great. You know what I'm saying? Versus being arrogant. So I think being humble also leads to, if you're really humble, giving a little more money to charity, um, making sure you go to church. All these women will come at you. If you're a guy, you forsake those women because you have this nice one and you're happy to have her. You're humbled in your relationship with her because she's just, you know what I mean? All that is humble versus somebody trying to make you humble. Somebody making you humble is humbling you, and that's different, right? Because that implies that they're taking status away from you, station away from you. Some people have been drinking. Is there a religion behind being humble? Humble. Okay, so Sunday service. Hey, yeah, I guess it is. He is no religion. I like that. People can't have a discussion at your level. You're correct. Yeah, one bad thing happens to you and you're okay. One or bad things happen to you and you are okay. That's being grateful. That's not being humble, right? So I guess it could be worse. So I'm thankful that it wasn't, right? So oh my God, this I lost my house in the tornado, but I still have my pets and my wife, and we can start over. I'm thankful that you know what I mean. So you're not humbled by. I guess you could be humbled if you lose everything. I love this because I love words and word meanings. Um, I don't know, Kendrick Lamar. I might be a little too old for Kendrick. Just a little, just a tad too old. So all right. Remember, people, likely Monday starts. We're gonna be on Twitch. Please come through and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Twitch channel, Karma Armor. We're gonna be doing some gaming and this kind of conversation. Um, but yeah, the whole Ghislaine Maxwell case seems weird to me. It seems like the government just going, yeah, we investigated it and we found that there's all this 30-year stuff. There are no pictures, no text messages uh, of anything or anybody other than actually no pictures of anybody, right? But we've got these four people and we've got this case. Oh, look, they deliberated a very long time. It's 4 days. That's a long time. So they took it very seriously. And now that we got this conviction, we can give everybody 8 years and go about our business. La, 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 la. Do, 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 do. Meanwhile, the guy who gave a convicted child rapist weekends off, nice and weekends off out of jail, so he could run whatever business he was fucking running. Um, that guy gets a pass. While all these famous people who hung out with him aren't being looked into. Yeah, like he died at the not the Brooklyn House of Detention, the Manhattan House of Corrections, a federal correctional joint, and the two people who they got were the night guards, federal correction guard. They're gonna send them to jail for like 7 years, and they both lost their jobs and had to cop a plea. And I think they got it for something like stealing time, essentially sleeping on duty, some shit like that. Look, if you said they did it, that's a better reason to arrest them than two fucking civil servants who may have nodded off, like, because there's cameras everywhere in there. So if there's cameras in there that caught them nodding off while somebody was, while Jeffrey Epstein was killing himself. But there's no evidence of that either. There's no video evidence of Epstein doing. Man, I gotta tell you, I'm proud of this moment because I was really beginning to think that the American system had gotten so fat and lazy and stupid they couldn't pull shit off anymore. This looks fairly competent. The suicide and the legitimate conviction, uh, and just booking the close here, and no one asks any further questions other than what you know about famous people being on that island and on that yacht all these times. Write your stupid books, say whatever. We're still the government. These are still important people. They're still with their millions in their giant houses. Uh, and, and that's that, right? Okay. Um, and by the way, first of all, uh, some of these people are a little too important for this bullshit. I think because I've always said, how did the Secret Service not know that Clinton was on a plane with this guy who had this conviction? How did they not know? It's bullshit, right? But at the same time, Clinton's too important. He was the president. You don't throw presidents in jail. Like I said, you're also not going to throw Trump in jail. It's ridiculous. But all these men of business, these men of industry, CEOs, they're not above the fucking law. That's pedophilia. Lock them, but you know what? So now maybe what the government owes them a favor. That's not how the government works. The government makes you do shit because they're the government. Government doesn't need to bribe your ass. The government can just go, you will end up in jail tomorrow if you do not do XYZ for the good of this state, right? I mean, Jeffrey Epstein is so I don't. It's just that I think the can of worms would have been too big to open, and that's the problem. Um, so yeah, so that one's closed, and we'll see what happens next. 60 years on one of the charges. Um, 60 years is a long time. 60 years on one of the five charges that you're convicted of. Right. In the old days, they tell you so and so is facing XYZ charges. So, or they'll go, so and so, if convicted of all charges, so and so could face 300 years, right? But he's likely to get like 50 or whatever. Right? Ooh, that's cold. So they'll say, True broke into the warehouse. He was arrested. He had stolen stuff on him. He had a gun. He's a felon in violation, and he's got a gun on him. So he can get 5 years for the gun. He can get breaking and entering carries three to 10 if you're a second offender. It's 3 to 7 if you're a second offender. It's 5 to 10. He's already multiple charges. So that's 5 to 10, and then this da, 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 da. So so at the very minimum could be facing 25 years to 40 years in jail. He's likely to get 15 because he's a repeat offender. And if he pleads to the trial, right? They would tell you something like that. Now they don't tell you anything. Don't tell you anything. The stories are super small. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna swap over. I'm gonna be able to play games. Could not have a working camera. My camera's working, right? Um, yeah. So we'll see. Uh, as we start the new year, we wanna kick it off correctly. But yeah. So I was saying this is sort of my lazy man sort of stream because it's the end of the year. It's the 29th here in America, and we've got just 2 more days, the 30th, the 31st. I think I'm gonna give up drinking. I think I'm gonna give up drinking. I think I hit a wall a couple of days ago. I think I'm gonna give up drinking. Um, he says now, right? Let's see how your first stressful moment happens. But this is what happens. Sometimes you just kind of go, I think I want to take up guitar, or go back to school, or do this or do that, and you do it, and you can feel when those moments are real in you. And now I'm just kind of like, it's been a long time of parties and drinking. Maybe I should try something else. However, I'm not going to be a vegetarian. I do still like steak. Uh, they said over 6,000 NYPD are out sick last night. 6,000. What? That sounds like a what they used to call a blue flu. Why were they out? 6,000 cops out in one night. See, this is who runs the police department. Does the do they run their own? No, they don't. I would begin just firing people. You should some of this some of these agencies you can't let do whatever they want. And the New York City Police Department is one of them. Um, Actual COVID flu, they can prove that it's COVID, then there's nothing you can do about it. It is a pandemic, mind you. But I thought like people were kind of like calling out sick to be ridiculous. You can't have it especially during a pandemic. Um, Remember when the pandemic first started, all those teachers took early retirement because they didn't want to be around the kids, and they were like 1,000 years old. Yeah, people are retiring. People don't want the job. People retire a little early. COVID flu, 40,000 man unit. That's 1/6 the department. That's a lot of people. 1/6 of your department is out with the flu. What is that? Give me a second. Wow, that is the weirdest thing. That is the weirdest thing. All right. All right. So, all right. So next Monday, we're gonna try and come through, give everybody a warning to come and hang out with us, where we're talking more jazz. Stop that. Talking more jazz, do more stuff in a landscape format versus portrait, and we'll start a whole new adventure for the whole new year. Uh, Please like and subscribe and come and hang out. I've got sort of a short list of things that I've got planned for next year. Um, More piano learning, more guitar learning. I think I'm gonna go back to either running or something because I gotta do something. I stood on scale on not Thanksgiving, on Christmas, 218 pounds. That means I'm I should be hovering around 185, 190. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It can't be allowed. It can't be allowed. It cannot be allowed. Look, listen. I have chocolate cake in there. Like I like the nice things too. It's about to go bad. I should have a piece of it. But I don't hover around food, but at the same time, if you don't move around a lot, you will swell like a tick. So I need to up my moving around a lot. I need to up my whole streaming game more regularly in the new year. And maybe in that kind of like once I get everything, the blood flowing to stream more regularly, running and stuff, I'll come up with better shows, right? But we're going to be here, I want to say every day, but uh, do we want to even start an everyday stream? Because man, I'm beginning to think that we've got bad luck with everyday streams. Maybe it'll be every other day, every single day, whenever we want. If we did whenever we want streams, we'd be streaming 6 days a week. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out by Monday because Monday's coming. Um, COVID. Ugh. Here's the thing. Do you want unvaccinated cops showing up to help you, right? And then they may give it to your grandma or your new infant baby or your immune compromised sister, right? It's just why is this so hard for people? Oh my God. You should not want to get anybody else sick. And that's the first way I look at it. And I think a lot of people are like, I won't get anything. Yeah, I know you got your rights, but at this point, man, it's been going on for a while. And we should really figure out what the drama is. And people should be intelligent. But that's what happens when you don't educate the populace, right? Or you de-educate the populace. So yeah, I'm supposed to. So yeah, I guess we're gonna end the stream here. Oh, it's 8:15. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream here. I'm gonna go get I might need a coffee. And then we're gonna hop on with Ted. So please, everyone, like and subscribe. I'm still gonna be on Haps for a minute or two. Do, 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 do. But I think all the fun is gonna move over in large chunks to my Twitch channel. Um, then I begin moving the camera around, clean off this table, get this whole room actually done. Get the other room done, and maybe we can actually have an actual show. Are you praying with Ted tonight? So yeah, we're gonna do that. Um, Happy New Year, William, man. Happy New Year, Emmanuel. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Possible, probable. Please come on back, like and subscribe. It's good talking to you. New Zealand sounds awesome. Um, Everybody, remember the new year is a brand new start. It's fraught with possibilities of doing something great or giving something up or taking something up, right? Um, you're an interesting person. Find something interesting to do that you would like. Like I said when I first started this with the guitar, I can't get tired of it, right? Because I picked to learn it. It's not like you're gonna pick something horrible to do and then get good at that. Why would you do that, right? So whatever you pick, you're gonna have a natural interest in it anyway. And the way the human brain works is first you begin to sink down because it's a new thing, you're getting a grasp on it, and then you slowly get better at it, and you do that check mark thing. You begin to soar upward. That's what you want, whatever you pick up. Your writing, your music, your poetry, your short story writing. You're gonna write a novel. You know, this is all shit in your control. This isn't acting or whatever, right? This is you and your own energy manifesting something. You don't need anybody else to do it. Um, and some of that energy will won't be used. The energy that you use won't be used on wild politics or angry this or hateful that. And before you know it, you'll be back to center. That's how you reconfigure your uh, Wasmanator. Okay, so uh, in the new year, we want your Wasmanator to get reconfigured. The true north, and you should be good. Um, and then you can go back and see if the stuff that you worry about were really worth worrying about, right? Think of it as a palate cleanser, and that's where we're at. So when we go over to Twitch, we're gonna sort of try and do that, make it a little more interactive, a little more fun, more gaming, more cooking, more all that good shit. Uh, and all that starts Monday. But it's not gonna be super great out of the gate. It's gonna be like it was here out of the gate, slow and steady. But slow and steady is where I'm at now. Uh, Again, please like and subscribe. I will see you all in the next one. The next one is likely gonna be tomorrow. I want to do a couple of more before we end the year. The next one will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. sharp. Uh, Take care of yourself. Be humble, but take your victory laps. Strut sometimes. That's good too. We can't all get along. That's fine, but try and walk around with your chin up. Don't take any lumps. Um, and know that a positive attitude about the world is part of it. Not to just be mindlessly grinning and you know what I mean, but trying to be like not be down all the time. That energy is important too. Uh, so I guess I will see you in the next one. Next one's tomorrow. Happy New Year, all, and like and subscribe.